Hi, this is Rachelle with Scrapcraftastic, and today I'm going to be making hidden paper clips. I have a few videos on different ways to make planner clips or hidden paper clips for your planner. I'm going to be working on some Christmas themed versions for our December daily. So here is where we are so far with December daily. In the last video, I think the last video, because I'm kind of doing things out of order. For the last video that I can recall, we did the closure and the topper, and I'm actually going to clip this topper on if I can find a suitable clip. I got this little white coated paper clip. I'm going to clip that in place so that it doesn't go anywhere. All right. So I have a bunch of stuff out here on my desk, so I'm sorry about that. But as far as the hidden paper clips, this is a hidden paper clip. You can't see a paper clip anywhere, but you can clip this onto your page. So let me clip it on a bigger page. For instance, if I clip this on here, I have to open it up a little bit. If I clip this on here, say I've journaled on this index card, you can just slide that there and it holds it in place, okay? But it's a little more decorative than just having a plain paper clip. So that is one that I did while I was just sitting here piddling around. And I'm using scraps for this, except for maybe like the base cardstock. Other than that, I just pull scrap Christmas papers that I have and just use what I have. This is a planner sticker. This is the candy cane digital cut file that I shared in, I think, the first video, the first part. So here it is. I just trimmed off the offset because it has a huge offset. And I used glossy accents on the bow. So it's got like a shiny dimensional effect. And I use red stickles on the red stripes on the candy cane. This is the best eyelash trim that I have come across. I have others, but the eyelash is so long. This one I picked up at Dollar Tree. They had limited colors, but I thought this red would work well with my journal. And I really like it. I like the short, I don't know, eyelashes on it. This is so much better than what I already have in my stash. So I did find this at Dollar Tree. I just did a bundle of that in the background of the candy cane and bow, and I used hot glue for this. I did hot glue that. I don't really like to use hot glue with paper, but with things like this that are a little chunkier, I I will use the hot glue. All right, so this is another one that I made. The base is actually an index card, so I just folded the index card, covered it with a top piece of scrapbook paper, and this one has the paper clip sticking out of the top a little bit, so I put a little pull on it. You could hang charms or dangles on them when you have the top of the paper clip exposed like that. But I just did the pull, and because this one is pretty much non-directional, it can slide on the side of the page. And again, I can take an index card or whatever and hold that in place. And if I want to embellish this more, I can, but I kind of like that it's simple. Even though the base of this is an index card, see there you can see the lines on the inside of the index card. Before I glued this topper piece down, I went around it with some of my Simply Gilded Washi to give it a decorative border or edge since it was just plain white, and I think that works out great. So this is a way to use washi tape as well. And if I can find a sticker that I think works on this, then I can come back and put a sticker on it. So that would just close right there, and I'd have a little, you know, fluff hanging out, or it could be hanging out of the top, whichever way you want to do it. These two I made with an index card. What I did is, if you see, they go together. I kind of did a washi dashboard. So I put washi tape all over the index card. I probably could have done this line side, but I think I did just the white side because I had white washies and I didn't want the lines to show. I put down the washi. Then I cut the index card in half. So I would have 1.5 inch wide pieces. I have two 1.5 inch wide pieces. I took another index card, cut it in half, and I'll show you how I did it. But anyway, this was made with index cards. Now the index cards I have are a little bit more flimsy than I would like. but it seems like it toughened them up a little bit once I put the washi tape on and glued them together. This one, the only thing I did was add a sticker from one of my sticker books, which is, I pulled all this stuff up here so I can show you one of these sticker books from Michael's from back in the day that I haven't really used much out of because I only use them once per year. This one is from 2020. This is Save Freeze. This one is from 2021. This one is Classic Christmas. So I used one of the stickers from one of those on that side. This side I left plain, and this can slide on. You don't see the paper clip anywhere. I didn't leave anything hanging out. So this can slide on just like that. Okay. Now, because of the thickness of the paper clip, it may not be flush. As you can see, it's not flush all the way to the page, but that has to do with the thickness of the paper clip. You could actually put a tab on here, so you can use the paper clips as tabs in your journal, and I might do that. But as you can see, they stick out just a hair. That's because of the paper clip, because just like here, if you see the paper clip is on there, it does stick up above the paper just a little bit. That's the thickness of the clip. So I don't really like this on this page because it kind of gets lost in that pattern, even though this side is fine. So I'm going to put it on a different page. Let's see. Let's put it on this one. All right. Then this one is the same. The only different thing that I did was kind of wrap some of that eyelash trim around, tied a knot in it, and slid it up to the top of the clip. I added this from my printable stickers from these. And it's a little small. I don't really like it, but it's already on there. And I used some extra glue to hold it in place so I can't remove it. But I don't really think it's that great. But I can still use it in here. And again, voila, I can have a whole other piece that I can add to my journal. So what I am going to attempt to do, I'm going to take all these out for now so I can remember what I want to do. I am going to attempt to make some more and show you the different ways that I made these. Okay. So let's put this up. Let's get organized here. I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way. Before I get to it, though, I want to show you some more of what I have. So you saw the sticker books, you saw my printables. I have some pieces of cardstock that I can use. So I got the green, red, and white cardstock. I have a whole stack of index cards to use. If you want to make this just out of index cards and washi tape, you can. Um, I have this book of die cuts that were stickers actually, or I think I stamped these that say December. So some of this stuff I've made myself. Some of it is digitals for junk journals, and a lot of it is printable planner stickers that I just print and cut on cardstock. Sometimes you kind of just got to think outside of the box and say, okay, this is a nice sticker, but can I use it as a die cut or embellishment for something else too? And that's what a lot of this is. For instance, this doll is from Fabulously Creative. So I'm sure I got a bunch of Fabulously Creative stuff in that pocket. This is from Liz Pleasant. I think her shop is Pleasant Creations from back in the day. And this is from one of my digitals that I accidentally printed on um, regular 20-pound paper. So what I did was glue some red cardstock on the back. It didn't cut perfectly, but I glued some red cardstock on the back to give it a little more weight. And then I went ahead and cut it anyway. So instead of stickers, I got some pretty nice die cuts here that I can use. Ordinarily, those would have been stickers, but because I messed up, I printed it on the wrong paper, so I can use some of those. I don't know why I got Halloween stuff in here too. This is some of that specialty paper that I mentioned previously that I was sent from Japan, so I can use pieces of that if I need to. So I'm going to set that aside. Then this is my scraps. Found this mixed in with my scraps, so maybe I can use that. This is some washi samples that I've had for a while that I need to use. I've got these ugly Christmas sweater tags that I've had. I have a bunch of these that I think I can turn into a paper clip. And then these are embellishments by Tim Holtz ephemera pack. It has lots of red pieces in there, so I thought I could maybe incorporate some of those. And the rest of this is scraps, and I also have all of my Christmas washi here. All right, so this is some paper clips that got loose. I prefer to use larger paper clips for things like this, but I don't have a lot of them, so we're going to play around with different sizes. I also prefer if the paper clip is going to be completely hidden, I prefer to use the silver paper clips, preferably from the Dollar Tree. If I can find them, if the paper clip is going to be showing, then I rather use the gold. Let me get a couple of golds out of here. And for sure, I'm sure you can find gold at Office Depot. Pretty sure that's where I got most of mine from. I don't really care to use these too much in making hidden paper clips, the ones with that coating on them. I don't even really like these paper clips, but they do have their place and you can use them. So we're going to start with something easy. Let's start with these Christmas sweaters because I really want to get these used. And they do have a little hole in the top because they are a tag. So we can use that to maybe run some trim through or something like that. So I have this piece right here. I think I'm going to use this and I'm just going to line this up. So I guess this sweater is going to stick out a little bit. I am going to line this up like this. So I'm folding the scrap piece to the approximate height that I want so that it fits between the hole and the bottom of the sweater. I'm going to trim that off. And you can use hot glue for this. I think this is a good hot glue project. Let me turn on my glue gun. I had it out, but I put it away. But let's use it and see what happens. This first one is we're making a hidden paper clip with existing ephemera or die cuts. All right, so I got my cut piece. Then I'm going to take my paper clip and slide it over it with the folded part at the top. Okay. And basically what I'm going to end up doing is attaching this. I might need to cut this a little bit shorter. Attaching this piece to the end to the back of one of the sweaters, and then I'll attach the other sweater to it. All right. Now you can use Fabri-Tac, but you need a good strong glue for this if you want it to last for a while. Now what's going to happen is when once this is in place and I slide it on my page, the top of that sweater is going to be hanging out. So we got to make sure we decorate that little bit really nice because that will be seen. Okay. It should be hot now. So first I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way so you can see. All right. So I'm just going to add glue. Make sure I get it around the paper clip so that paper clip doesn't come off. And then try to get as close to the edge as possible. Don't have a whole lot of time with the hot glue. Have to move fast. And then I'm going to put that in place. Try to get it right down to the edge. All right, let's do the other side. And I think we can add some to the top of the collar there. And again, try to get as close to the edge as possible, but not to where it's going to leak out. So then I'm going to line this shirt up, or sweater, with the other one. Try to get that in place quickly. And these aren't exactly the same front and back, but they're close. So if it's off a little bit, I can trim it. And I think I got these from Dollar Tree a few years ago. All right, so that is done. Smooth it out of the way. And it should go on my paper just like that, okay? So then let's find the end. I'm not going to double it up. I'm just going to use one length. On the other one, I did double that up. this could probably stand to be shorter. So there we go. We got another clip with a holiday theme. Let's see. Can trim off some of this excess on the sides where it's a little bit different shape. Probably should have left it. I'm not going to trim anymore because that made it look a little off. All right. But yeah, there we go. And again, I can like add a little jingle bell up there, which we might get into that later. But that's a really quick, easy way to make a clip. Let's see if I can do something similar with these candy canes. So let's see if my scrap piece of paper is going to work. Probably going to end up cutting it down. Let's just fold it in half and use as much as we can. Put the clip on it. Do I want to have it sticking out of the top so that I can embellish it? No, I'm not going to do that on this one. All right, so this needs to be really skinny. So probably just slightly wider than the paper clip. So I'm going to cut this much off. Make sure that you can't see it. I'm going to round this off on the bottom. I'm going to have to position it really, really tight. Let me cut a little bit more off. Let's try it. Oop, I already made a mess with the glue. Let's go ahead and put the other piece on. I probably should have used white paper here instead of this green because it's going to show, but it's fine. I just want to make sure that I keep the glue on the green part where the paper clip is, and then above that I can add glue to seal the top part. There we go. But you want to leave anywhere on the sides of the paper clips unglued so that way it will actually slide onto whatever you're trying to slide it onto. So there we go. Let me give another example. That's how that will sit on your page. I can make 2 of these. Let's make one using this little piece of index card. It's got some glue on it, but I can make it work. All right, let's do it like this. Let me do it with the lines outside. And that's about a little less than 3 lines wide. So I'm going to trim it and hope my paper clip will fit. I got to cut it down some more because I don't want any of it sticking out of the top. There we go. Okay, let me put something under so I don't get it on my red paper. Now let's do the other piece. So you can do this with any image that is opposite. So if you use your silhouette, you can just flip one the opposite direction before you cut it, and this should work. Careful because the paper clip gets hot from the hot glue. All right, so then I can go back on these and add the glossy accents and the stickles. Let's do it. I got the stickles right here. Where's my glossy accents? Now the glossy accents clogs really easily. So basically every time I open it to use it, I have to unclog it. And be careful because if there's any glossy accents left on your pen, it will get stuck in your pen cushion. This stuff is really strong. So I'm just going to squirt some. on what I imagine would be the shiny parts of the bow. Let's do the other one. Let me take my pen. Probably need to use a what do you call it? A toothpick to move it around, but I don't have one here, so I'm just using my pen to move what I can. Now let's add some stickles. I'm going to set that aside way out of the way so I don't touch it until it dries. And let's do the same thing on this one. Back to glossy accents. And I do store this upside down to try and help with the clogging issue. So set this aside too. That is using die cuts. Let's do one with the washi tape. So let me pull the washi tapes I want to use. I want to use some different ones because those were primarily green. So let's make ones that are primarily red. I'm gonna have to use my mat here. Now keep in mind that one side of this is going to end up upside down. Let's go with this way. Now, I would suggest you use some glue stick on the card before putting down the tape if you want the tape to hold up. But I'm thinking I'm going to be layering some things on top, so that should hold my tape in place. But if you are going to just have the tape, I would suggest you add additional adhesive. I think glue stick works best. And it doesn't have to be a fancy, expensive glue stick, something inexpensive because you do already have the adhesive of the tape. It's just something to make sure that tape sticks better, especially since we're going to be folding this. All right, so I'm going to get out my paper trimmer. I know these index cards are 3 by 5. Half of 3 is 1.5. So I am going to trim this in the middle at 1.5. Okay. So then all you do, I needed that again, but we'll do it in a moment. Let's fold this in half. And I'm just going to burnish that fold and see there if I used some glue, my tape wouldn't have lifted a little bit, but it lifted a little bit. So make sure you use the glue. This one lifted too because it's right on the fold. Let's burnish it really well. All right, so we have the beginnings. Now I'm just going to take another index card and cut that one in half. I could have done both of them at the same time, but do I need this anymore? I don't think I need it anymore. I'm going to turn it off, set it aside. Let's cut this in half. So this time I'm going to try and hide the lines a little bit better. Fold it in half, put the lines out. Fold it in half, the lines out. All right, so then let's take our clips and put on the lined side with the fold at the top again. And then this will slide into here. Now, what's going to happen is because of the width of the paper clip up at the top and the added paper, you're going to end up having to cut off about 1/8 of an inch at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and put both of mine together and try to cut them together. It needs to be slightly shorter than the top piece. So you're just going to cut a little bit off. That's a little more than 1/8 of an inch. But I know from the last time that I needed a little bit more off. This is just going to wrap over the top like so. And then we're going to glue these pieces together. This time I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. Make sure you get that paper clip all the way on. And I'll straighten it up in a minute. Glue all the way to the edge. So this is for this one. I'm just going to line this up as best as I can and do the fold. Line it up. Straighten up that clip. And then I'll do the same thing. Other side. So in this case, we are putting lines together. So line to line. I'm going to leave that alone and let it dry. Do the same thing for this one. These two bases are done. Just got to let the glue dry. They are similar to these two clips. Now I can decorate them up once they're dry. This one, I rounded the corners. I can do the same thing with these. But again, I'm just going to set those aside to dry. For now, what's next? Okay, so we did this one. We did the die cut, which was a bonus because I hadn't done that one before. So we need to do these two. We can do another one of these. All right, so this paper is, I'll give you measurements. So these are from an index card, of course. So that's 2.5 by 1.5. This is going to be, this is 2.5 by 6. So I'm just going to fold that in half, and it's not straight, so I'm going to have to straighten it up. Again, these are scraps, so. And this paper is treated, so kind of have to be careful. See, it cracked right there. Do I really want to use this? So I may end up inking this a little bit more because of that. That treatment causes it to crack when it's folded. All right. So we evened it up. I'm going to use this for the other one. Now on that one, I cut a little slit in the middle of it for that paper clip to stick out. It's about 1/4 of an inch or smaller. So I'm just going to cut a little slit on that fold so my paper clip can stick up. Then I need to get another index card, fold it in half. I guess I'm going to have to put the lines on the inside. I hope this, okay, this index card is too short. I can either trim my cardstock or use something else for the base. But this is a way to use up some of the mini index cards I have. So I think I'm just going to trim some off. So I need to trim it off right about here to make it even on all 3 sides. So that's going to make this about 2¼ inches. Now that fits on there nicely. On the original, I rounded the corners. So let's do that. I'm not going to round this yet. Let's put the washi tape first. All right, so we're going to go around all 4 sides with a washi. And I'm going to put the stardust edge to the outside edge. Try to get it all the way to the edge to cover the white. And in this case, once again, it's a good idea to use glue stick. All right, I'm going to go ahead ink these edges because I didn't get quite to the edge with my washi tape. Also, where the inside of the card is going to show, where the index card is going to show, I want that to be inked too. So that inking it kind of makes those little errors disappear. So I got a little white on this edge. If I ink that up, all that disappears. It's all gone. All right, so then on the inside, I'm going to come around the edges and ink that up too, because some of that's going to show. So this is going to go like that. Probably should have used a different color from the plaid. And I could actually do a whole other layer on top of that if I wanted to. We could probably do something with the green to make it fancy, but let's go with what we got. So I'm going to put the clip on this. I'm going to go ahead and round these corners now since the washi tape is on there. Let's hit that again with the ink. Open that up. I think that's good on the inside. Yeah. All right. Then this goes on here. Now, let's open this up a little bit so that our clip can come out. I'm going to have it stick out maybe about a quarter of an inch, like so. Okay. Now, I do want to go over that opening with some ink. You see how it's white there, and also where the paper cracked. Let's ink that up and get rid of that. See? It's gone. Let me ink these edges too. Let's go ahead and add the glue to the top flap and around the clip. Press that down, 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 down. To the other side. That clip. And then go around. There is that clip. Got blue coming out on that side. Use some washi tape and a scrap of scrapbook paper. I can talk, I really can. That's still showing some white up there. I can take a marker and get in there, but I'm not going to worry about it because we're going to put some of this eyelash trim on. Do I have green? Let me see if I have a different color. It won't be as nice as this trim. Okay, I do have green, but I don't want to use that color green. And this is an example of what the other eyelash trim looks like. So you can see it's got the long lash. I prefer this this style. So if I can find it again at Dollar Tree, that's what I'm going to get. This is called Fun Fur. I got it from Joann originally. When I went back to get it, they didn't have it anymore. So this, let me give it a color that's already open. This is one that I got from Amazon. This is a little shorter as far as the eyelash. So I'll link to the ones that I got on Amazon in the description box below. And they have a lot of different colors. But instead, I'm going to use some ribbon. So let's try this. It's a little gaudy, but I want to use it. And let's see. This is a ribbon that I picked up. I think I got it from Joann. Been doing a lot of shopping at Joann lately. And I think it was on sale, of course, because let's see if we can tie a bow. I need more on this side. Let's take a bulb pen in red. I have these from Amazon. Had them for a while. And then I'm going to take that pen. I have some other embellishments here. These are kind of old, but these are all my well, not all, but most of my Christmas embellishments. And I have these little bells. I'm pretty sure I got those from Dollar Tree. All right. And I'm going to run that through the center of this bow because the pin is going to help hold that bow together. I could add a little bead of glue to it too. And hopefully I can get the clip to close. Okay. So there we go. I can probably position that a lot better. Isn't that cute? So then you could just slide it on your page in your journal. All right, just make sure everything is pressed down. The glue is gluing. And then we could also put something decorative on the other side, I guess. What would it be? I don't know. Maybe we can put a label and something else. Let's see. Got these die cuts and bits that I've stamped. So there's labels. Let me see all this. Will this fit? Maybe I can use this as a label. And these are pieces that I stamped on scrap cardstock. Let's try and trim this up. All right, so this is a decorative edge punch. So I'm going to, I think, punch this kind of like a ticket with a ticket punch, kind of like this. That gives it a label look as well. And I should probably get out my green ink, my vintage photo. Probably could use red too, but I don't have it out. So let's just do a vintage photo. Let's touch it a little bit. Push back that white so it won't be so white. I feel like I could put something behind it for it to stand out a little bit more. That fits perfectly. So let's glue it down. Then I'm going to do the teeny tiny corner round. That's a little long, but we're going to go with it. I can even make it a little pocket. That way, if I want to tuck something in, like a label or something, I can. So I'm only going to add glue to 3 sides. So there's that side. So I can stick something in here. What that will be, I don't know. This side is a little plain too, but I could put a little label on here. Just go ahead and do that. It's red, but gives a little pop of white space. All right, so that one is done. What do you think? So that one actually decorated it up more than this, the original, but this is basically how I created this one. Okay, and then we have this one. This one is simple too. Let's choose our paper. I'm going to use this. All right, so I'm cleaning up a little bit of the papers that I have out because I'm only going to use this paper as the base. So what I'm going to do is kind of cut a strip off of this piece of cardstock and leave a border around this. You can go as big as you want or as small as you want with that border. Take my pencil and kind of mark where I want to cut and mark down here where I want to cut and then trim this up. All right, so we got this piece that I already had. It's folded in half. Let me give you the measurements of that piece. It's 2 by 6. So 2 by 6, and then I cut this piece. This size doesn't really matter that much, but let me give you what size it is. I got glue all over me as usual. Um, this is 2.5, probably by 6.5, about 6.5. So 2.5 by 6.5, or 6 5/8. Let's say 6 5/8. So I'm just gonna fold that in half. This piece is gonna go over this piece. You can choose to round the corners or not. Totally up to you. On this version, it's gonna stick up a little bit. Now to alleviate some of that, I can take my hole punch and in the center, just cut out a little teeny notch for that paper clip to rest down in, kind of like that. Can you see that? That way, when I put my paper clip on, it's going to sit down in that notch and it's not going to make the paper that I put over it stick out as much. I mean, the width of the paper is going to stick out, but yeah, it lays down a lot more flat. So on the original one, I inked it up, and I don't know why I did, but I did, but I'm not going to ink this one. I don't know what I'm going to embellish it with either, but I'm not going to ink it. And I think I also used hot glue, but let's just glue it regularly. So I'm going to put the glue around the clip first, then around the edges. And I'm choosing not to round this. I did end up messing up the foil on that. So I would say I probably should use a different glue. So let's use the art glitter glue on the other side. I really don't like to use this for larger areas. And maybe I could have used, since it's not coming out anyway, let's just use the Eileen's tacky glue. It'll take forever to dry, but it probably won't affect the foil. I think the alcohol or acetone, whatever is in the Fabri-Tac, affects the foil, has a reaction to the foil. So let's do it this way. All right, so definitely going to end up decorating this side. Let's see what we got in the sticker books while that's drying. Let's use this one. I think it has the red foil in it. Let's say freeze. Let's use this A Christmas to Remember. I could keep looking, but no, I'm going to use a little glue stick. So that's one side. Can we put on the other side? Let's just use that for now. I can easily come back later for something else. And let's put this in the middle. So we're going to keep this simple. Now, what I did on this, where's that one? This one, where I wrapped the furry stuff, I'm going to do that here. And let's see, I'm just going to cut a length off. And then what I did was just slide that in between, leave a tail hanging out. So just however you can get it to stay in place, just wrap, 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 wrap. So I want that to land on the top edge, like so. And then I'm just going to tie the two ends in a knot. It's really hard to tie this stuff because of all the fuzziness, but yeah, I'm just going to tie it in a knot. Let me tie another knot just to make sure, because this stuff is slippery. I have all these scraps left that I can still use, so I can still do a mask make. I have these clips that I need to decorate. That's what they look like. We already saw those. This is a new one. So that's what it looks like on that side. That's what it looks like on that side. This I need to trim up. I see white space. Let's trim it. And I'll probably go around that with my gold marker. There's an effect again from that glue. So be careful with the Fabri-Tac glue because it did something here as well. This is the sweater. That's what that one looks like. Um, this is the one with the index card and the scrap paper. We added the little bell embellishment, little pocket on the back. All right, and then this one's original. And then this is the other washi tape version. Let me know what you think. I am going to continue to make them because I want to have quite a few in my stash and I might as well use up all the scraps that I have here. I hope this gave you some ideas of things you can make to add to your December daily. Let me know if you're going to make some hidden paper clips in the comments below. You can also use these in your planner. That is it. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and you may be interested in this other video. Thanks for watching and I'll talk to you later. Bye.